Welcome everybody. It's time for another video. We're gonna go out exploring just a little bit. There's some rain coming in, so we might get a little bit wet, but the weather's otherwise been nice and warm. You can see now the skies are clear, but the rain is about to come in. But while we wait on this train, I just want to tell you a funny story that happened the other day. I should have been recording because it would have been hilarious, but I came up on what looked to me to be two weird looking pile of leaves. And they were like brown but had a little color to them. And this time of the year when you see piles of leaves, they're usually completely brown or whatever, but I just thought something looked strange about these two piles of leaves. And I got a little closer and it looked like one of them moved. And I was like, oh, what in the world is this? But I proceeded to get closer, and both the leaf piles stood up, and needless to say, scared the daylights out of me. And even after seeing what it was, I was still a little freaked out because it was two emu ostrich things, two big old birds. And so in southeast Tennessee, when you see leaves stand up and all of a sudden see a 6-7 foot bird in front of you, one would have been bad enough, but there was two of them. So, you know, that's just a funny little story I thought I'd share with you guys. But we're driving out to one of our regular spots just to get away from the boredom of sitting in the house. So I'm gonna pause this and we'll continue in a minute. Before we make a trek, we're gonna stop and get a little bite to eat at Subway. I'm trying to eat a little more healthy. Not great at it, but just eat a little more healthy. And we'll be back. Alright. Grab my turkey sandwich on wheat. And we're going to go driving. End up standing there a little bit longer than I thought I would. Got to talking to a guy about the Steelers. And I'm always up to talk about my Steelers. This way and go the back way. Too much traffic tonight. Yeah. Sometimes the craziest things happen to me. Crazy big birds, and no telling what you run into. Across the traffic. Just keeps getting busier and busier in my little small town. But didn't get to get out much. 2 weeks ago I had the flu and I was down. I mean, I was down for the count. And ended up missing 2 days of work with it. Real high fever. And but still recovering, still have a little hacky cough and the sniffles a little bit. And we're supposed to get some storms. It's supposed to rain a little bit tonight, I think, but then we're supposed to get some pretty good storms tomorrow. But I'm still going to try to get out a little bit tomorrow. Maybe storming when I'm out, may not, hopefully not. So I'm not a big fan of driving in storms. But I am a big fan of getting out of the house. And I'm going to drive out to the boneyards, see if anything's stirring, and we'll probably sit out there for a while and eat my sandwich and see what we can hear or see. Drive around the back way a little bit. And I don't know why it's got so dark all of a sudden. So let me know in the comments. Yeah, I know I'm not the seasoned tuber, but just let me know in the comments if you guys are enjoying any of my content, or any suggestions that you guys would like to see on the channel. I do think we'll be going to more urban legend places, you know, like about a month ago, you know, I went to the mausoleum that the blood supposedly runs down the walls, and on that street there's also a legend of the tall lady. It's supposed to be a spirit on that same road. People claim to see a really tall lady dressed all in black in the rearview mirrors, and some say it's a omen to tell them to slow down. But we may drive over there and just make a few trips back and forth and see if we can see the tall lady. I like going on my little squatching adventures, and I always will, and I'll always make a point to, that'll be the biggest part of this channel, is going out, you know, and doing some investigations where people tell me that they've had sightings, or I've found signs of things. But we'll also explore some of the paranormal and the folklore in areas. But if you could take a minute though, you know, give me a follow and like these videos, and leave me a few comments what you'd like to see. I'm not know why that camera is so dark, but it sure is. This is a dark road I'm on now. I don't believe there's, well, as you can see, there's no street lights, and I just saw lightning. So I think this will be a short trip, because I don't want to be driving out in the storms. But ride on these old back roads. Wish the camera was picking up a little brighter, but I'm not that good with technology, so I'm sure there's a setting on there where I can make it where you can see better, because I can see the road a lot better than I can see it on that camera. That storm home, because I don't want to be driving in it. You can see some lightning ahead. That's never a good sign. Well, maybe it is. Maybe if it storms a little bit tonight and we get a lot of lightning, it'll take away some of the storm fuel for tomorrow night's storms. And they won't be as bad as they're expecting. Appreciate you guys for riding along with me. The most exciting videos, but I can assure you there's going to be some more exciting ones coming in the future. So we're just getting back at this. You know, I was down for a good 6 months with after my surgery, and wasn't able to drive and get out and walk and hike and explore, and now I'm at the point where I can get around pretty good. So with each video we'll be doing a little bit more and more, and try to get out in the daylight a little bit more too. Maybe the storms will hold off tomorrow long enough for me to get out in the daytime where we can actually see something. Time, it's mostly just me sitting in the truck and driving and taking these back roads, because I've had a couple of sightings I've had in the past, and they've been while I was hiking, and you know, I've had a lot of things happen to me, and it's all been while hiking. But the one thing I said I want before I leave this earth, I want that road crossing. You know, you hear all the stories about people that have had the road crossings. So, you know, I love driving out at night, just hoping for one day to have that road crossing. But maybe when you're looking for it, you're never going to find it. So I guess I need to lower my expectations on it. But it's still fun to get out and drive down some old creepy roads and some areas that a lot of people won't go to. And that's pretty much what we're going to do tonight. We're just going to drive out here. Probably just drive out here, turn around, and just go back home, because I don't want to get caught in this storm, because I can see the lightning to the right of me over there. So, and it may stay south of us, but I can still see the sky lighting up that way. So here in a second I'll roll down the windows and we can listen to the sounds. You'll probably hear a lot of frogs and whatnot, but seen in the past videos, this road comes out, it ends at the river, the Tennessee River. But on both sides of this road, it's swampy. I mean, it's very swampy, and we'll go ahead and roll down the windows. See if you hear any sounds. Probably mostly hear my tires rolling across gravel, but on both sides of this road it's very swampy areas, and there's a lot of wildlife out here. You see a lot of deer and fox and coyotes, skunks, possums, armadillos. But this is a protected area, so of course you're going to see a lot more wildlife in the protected areas. They even grow, they have a couple of little farms, well, I wouldn't call them, but they grow some crops to keep the animals in these areas. See some lights ahead. I don't know if there's another, I think there's another vehicle maybe out here. Probably a fisherman. But we're right beside the swamps now. You can probably start to hear the frogs and whatnot. Saw some more lightning. Yeah, so there's definitely some fishermen up here. Probably just turn around and not bother them too much. With people out here, there's not going to be much action anyway. If their lights on, they're leaving themselves. Yeah, the Tennessee River in front of us. Across the river you can see a lot of lights. There's a campground over there, and it must be like a restaurant or a bar or something that they play a lot of music over there. Some nights you can be out here and hear the music coming across the river. Yeah, this won't be a very long video, or maybe it'll be longer than you wanted, but yeah, we just came for a little leisurely drive. I had to run over to my sons and see my granddaughters for a minute, and stop by Subway to get my sandwich. Had to run a few errands, so I thought we'd drive out here for a minute. Wish I could make that a little brighter. Just zooming. Yeah, I don't know how these settings work on this thing. Make it a lot like that, but I don't know If that's going to do any good. Maybe. Yeah, this is the area. We'll come out here in the daytime and I could show you around some of the areas, but this is, like I said, I've called it the boneyard for years because you can come out here and you can definitely see that there is some larger predators out here that and you will find bones from deer and anything, you know, any of the wild animals out here. But you know, I found full deer carcasses and armadillos, and one night out here, you can actually see the video on my, I believe it's on my TikTok, but there's a video where I was driving out here one night. I came out here, drove up the road just like we just did, and then on the way back there was a mostly eaten deer carcass in the middle of the road that was not there when I came down the road. So that was kind of a strange occurrence. So I don't know what could have drug or threw that deer carcass, which was mostly just bones and a little bit of nastiness, but it was still a creepy moment. There's a lot of thick woods, and like I told you, there's swamp on both sides, and then on each side of the swamp it's just thick woods. And as it gets a little warmer, I'll get my kayak out and we'll travel back to the back side of some of these swampy areas and explore some in the woods. Frogs are pretty active tonight. You can definitely hear them. Sorry if I get quiet every now and then. I like to try to listen a little bit for anything unusual. Something just hit the side of the truck. Yeah. It's just a short little drive. Just come get out of the house for a minute and there's a lot of investigators out there that are a lot more interesting than I am, but you know, I'm trying. I'm getting back to. I guess that's when you start worrying, when you don't hear the frogs no more. But anyway, there's a lot of investigators out there, and like I said, I'm just doing this for fun, and well, I've been researching since, well, for over 40 years, and I'm just now getting back into shape where I can do it again, and I don't have all the equipment that some of the more seasoned investigators have. Although I do have some night vision and stuff, and I'll bring it with me on some of these trips. But you know, I highly recommend following, if you're really into paranormal and Bigfoot, Dogman investigations. You know, there's channels I highly recommend. I can't say enough positive things about the Jesse and Joe with Hellbent Holler. They're probably the two best boots on the ground investigators I've ever seen, and had the privilege to get to know a little bit, and they're just two good people, and their page is amazing. So, you know, follow Hellbent Holler on YouTube here, and watch their videos, and they do live streams also, and so I highly recommend, if you like to watch real investigators working, those are two of the best. And the guys at Paranormal Odyssey, they have some great interview shows, and so if you'd like to hear, you know, guests talking about their adventures, I highly recommend listening to any of the Paranormal Odyssey and Sasquatch Odyssey. And if you like podcasts, that Bigfoot podcast is great. Wayne and I'm sorry, I get quiet when I hear some noises. But Wayne and Brian, they're great at their podcast, that Bigfoot podcast. And then Bigfoot Society, Jeremiah, over the years, me and him have become friends, and he is one of the best podcaster. He's on YouTube and has a podcast also, Bigfoot Society, and I can't say enough about how good his shows are. And me, just bear with me while I'm just doing my driving thing, and we'll get some boots on the ground videos coming soon. I'll get some buddies with me, and we'll go out and we'll do some investigating out in these woods and some other areas I like to go to. And hopefully this channel will grow a little bit, and I can do a little bit more with it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna finish this one off. I want to head on home before this rain hits. But I appreciate anybody that's watched and listened to me gab a little bit. And hit that like button and subscribe, because I've got very few followers, very few likes on here. And like I said, I have no plans of doing this for a living. I just want to share some of my adventures with you guys. So if you could just give me a like and follow, and you know, share a few comments, just say hi. But I'm gonna end this one, and I'm gonna drive on home and eat me some food. But I appreciate you guys that have stuck around, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, maybe tomorrow. Catch you later. Just one of those places I like to spend some time. Hear a plane flying over and a lot of frogs. But yeah, I've made it 1 year since my heart surgery, and to me that's a big deal. Turn the light on my phone here. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy the sounds, and I'm going to listen to see what we hear. I can hear some coyotes in the distance. Get out a minute, because I am hearing a sound. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but okay, I'm hearing music coming from across the lake. But down behind these trees here, and on up just a little bit, it's where I call the boneyard. It's where I've been finding a lot of bones, large bones. But I am going to pull forward and on closer to the swamps and get away from the noise from across the river over there. So it sounds like they may be partying a little bit over there, so it's kind of drowning out the background noise for me. So we're going to pull forward a little bit. Drive on closer to the swamps. Sorry for the dirty windshield. pulling up to a good pull-off area, just in case somebody were to drive out here, which is not likely at this time of night, but you never know. Yeah, I know I don't have my seatbelt on. Shame on me. Alright. Gonna pull in here. Get out again. Still hear the planes flying over, but we're away from the music for the most part. There are a lot of noises out here tonight. Dude, there's something yelling. Here's some dogs definitely getting closer. I'm gonna have to bring my thermal night vision out here with me to get some better video on these night drives. Sorry, I'm not talking a whole lot. I'm just trying to listen and let you guys hear the sounds. back in the truck. Something's ahead of us. We may okay, we're back. Sorry, I have to get back to the truck because there is something up here ahead of us. I don't want to try to get a little closer to. These roads are dark.